So to begin our meetings, I think it's a good practice that I'll try to implement every week, every Zoom meeting, to just do a brief review of a particular theme or topic or whatever it may be, to keep everything streamlined in the way that we are approaching this. So this first one, going to go back to the first lesson and a particular paragraph that Srila Prabhupada composed from Krishna book, which captures a theme which is prominent in the very beginning, then it dips down into the current of the river, and there's so many different other topics that will dominate over it. And then again, at the end of the Leela, it again manifests itself. So here's the following from Krishna book, right in the very beginning. The first verse, yes, it's describing the first verse. The words used in this connection in the Srimad Bhagavatam are Bhagavan Api. This means that although Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has no desire that needs to be fulfilled because he is always full with six opulences. Yet, he wanted to enjoy the company of the gopis. Bhagavan Api signifies that this is not like the ordinary dancing of young boys and young girls. The specific word used in Srimad Bhagavatam is Yogamayam Upashitaha, which means that this dancing with the gopis is on the platform of Yogamaya, not Mahamaya. The dancing of young boys and girls within this material world is in the kingdom of Mahamaya, or the external energy. The rasa dance of Krishna with the gopis is on the platform of Yogamaya. The difference between the platform of Yogamaya and Mahamaya is compared in the Chaitanya Charitamrita to the difference between gold and iron. From the viewpoint of metallurgy, gold and iron are both metals, but the quality is completely different. Similarly, although the rasa dance and Lord Krishna's association with the gopis appear like ordinary mixing of young boys and girls, the quality is completely different. The difference is appreciated by great Vaishnavas because they can understand the difference between love of Krishna and lust. So this point of which energy is conducting the activities and who is participating is the main theme that I wanted to focus on in that particular section. Now, let's go to the text just prior to this one. This is texts 10 and 11, the two verses we studied last week, which will bring us to this current topic. For those gopis who could not see Krishna, intolerable separation from their beloved caused an intense agony that burned away all impious karma. By meditating upon him, they realized his embrace, and the ecstasy they then felt exhausted their material piety. Although Lord Krishna is the Supreme Soul, these girls simply thought of him as their male lover and associated with him in that intimate mood. Thus, their karmic bondage was nullified, and they abandoned their gross material bodies. So that brings us up to present state. Samapriya, can you choose some speakers for us? And
Yes. Good morning. Hare Krishna, everyone. Glory to Srila Prabhupada. Okay, let's begin today with Ranga. Would you like to begin for us? Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Maharaj Parikshit heard Sukadev Goswami explain the situation of the gopis who assembled with Krishna in the rasa dance. When he heard that some of the gopis, simply by concentrating on Krishna as their paramour, became freed from all contamination of material birth and death, he said the gopis, The gopis did not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They accepted him as a beautiful boy and considered him to be their paramour. So how was it possible for them to get freed from the material condition just by thinking of a paramour? One should consider here that Krishna and ordinary living beings are qualitatively one. The ordinary living beings, being part and parcel of Krishna, are also Brahman, but Krishna is the supreme Paraman. The question is it possible for the devotee to get free from this material contaminated stage simply by thinking of Krishna? Then why not others who are also thinking of someone? If one is thinking of a husband or a son, or if anyone at all is thinking of another living entity, since all living entities are also Brahman, then why are they not all free from the contaminated stage of material nature? This is a very intelligent question because the atheists are always imitating Krishna. In these days of Kali Yuga, there are many rascals who think themselves to be as great as Krishna, and who cheat people into believing that thinking of them is as good as thinking of Lord Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj apprehended the dangerous condition of blind followers, of demoniac imitators, therefore asked this question, and fortunately it is recorded in the Srimad Bhagavatam to warn innocent people that thinking of an ordinary man and thinking of Krishna are not the same.
You have to unmute, Sama.
Sorry. Did you want to say something about this? Because this directly deals with the main theme of Krishna being different from everyone else.
Yeah, it's interesting. First of all, I don't understand how the gopis had material qualities that were then lost. That's one thing. And the other thing is that it seems almost inconceivable that people would think that someone could be as great as Krishna. But I know in India they do. But still, it's quite it's quite a confusing thing.
I don't know if it was if they're thinking he's as great as Krishna. The concept is that spirit is absolute, right? It's an absolute Shakti. So the question can be raised that thinking of Krishna, thinking of another jiva, you're thinking of the spirit, then why isn't it the same?
Well, I don't know. It seems obvious to me, but maybe somebody if you don't know Krishna, then yeah, I guess they could think anything.
Karinath has the
Right?
answer for us.
I just wanted to say that it's not only in India that atheists
Good.
have this conception, that I meet people on book distribution. Our pranam mantra, nirvishesha shunyavadi paschatya deshatarine. There are
Good.
nirvishesha and shunyavadi people in the Western countries. And I meet people who say, why should I go to a temple to worship God when God is everywhere? I am myself God. This tree is God. Just look at this magnificent tree. And, that's a philosophy that it's really, I guess, atheists just have a hard time thinking that there really is a supreme person that they should surrender to. They want to negate that idea. So even the great, Paramahansa, what's his name, Vivekananda said, service to man is service to God. And people say, I used to try to sell Chaitanya Charitamritas to wealthy Bengalis in California who were at Bengali festivals, and they were all reciting that, saying, "Why should I be interested in Chaitanya? I'm interested in doing welfare work for the poor, and that's really the higher thing." But really, they probably weren't doing any welfare work for the poor either. They were just not wanting to acknowledge that there's a supreme person.
Well, that's one of the things that keeps us in the material world, because basically we're all thinking that we're so important. And what to speak about people like Hitler, he thought he was God, Hiranyakasipu. I mean, and we see little gods walking around the street. That keeps us in the material world, that conception. Anyone else?
Mukunda has his hand up.
Mukunda, I can't really see the top of the screen. I'm sorry, Mukunda ji. Please
Oh,
speak.
no problem. So the other question about how the gopis may have had some kind of material contamination, I did put in not the chat here, but the main um,
Forum?
website, yeah, main forum. I did put the verses with the reference from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu of Rupa Goswami, what they're speaking about. That even when a person obtains prem, there are different degrees that prem evolves to, like sneha, man, rag, pranay, etc. So when a devotee first arrives in the manifest pastimes of Krishna, they have a pure body. It's called a Vastu Siddhi body, but their love has to develop further. So in the verse that was under discussion, the word gunamayi means there were qualities there that still had some remnant of personal desire. Like, I'm happy. I've arrived in Vrindavan. I'm seeing Radha and Krishna. I am happy by this. So because there's still some self-interest, that gun, that quality was removed by the intensity of not being able to go to Ras Leela when it was called.
You mentioned that last week too about being happy to be in Vrindavan. It's a very subtle point because naturally the soul has to become happy and satisfied in relation to Krishna. That self-satisfaction that has to be there. I'm happy to be in Vrindavan. I'm happy to serve my Lord. I'm happy. It's all mixed up. Otherwise, there's a tendency to become impersonal if we're not thinking that this is actually it goes even more than words. How is it pleasing? It's pleasing to me to serve my Lord, to be with my Lord, to be in love with my Lord. That has to be there. There has to be some connection, I think.
And the happiness that's born from praying is coming from the praying. It is possible to have happiness still born from our self-interest. They're different.
That's true. That's being mentioned in the purport too.
Yeah.
And that
That's
goes
true.
back to the Yogamaya, Mahamaya
Exactly.
elements. And we also read in this regard that one of the things that helped purify those sadhana siddha muni chari gopis was the association of Radharani and the Nitya Siddha gopis, because they are not in any way, shape, or form, not even a fragrance of material modes of nature. They're liberated souls. So the sadhana siddhas, like you were saying, Mukunda, just have a little bit of maturity, let's call it.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Manvantara.
Manvantara. Where are you, Manvantara?
Hi, can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can hear you.
Hare Krishna. Can you ask Mukunda where and when he posted it? I am so anxious to read it, and I
Actually,
haven't.
I think he put it on the WhatsApp. I don't
Yeah.
think you put it in the forums.
Yeah, I don't have WhatsApp. That's probably why. Is there any way he can post it to the
Sure.
Sadhu Sangha online?
Yeah, we'll try to get
Please?
that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Ruva, can you copy it from where I
Yeah,
put it?
I'm thinking that's what I'll have to do, and then send it to myself and then put it on.
Okay. Jagrini, did you have a question? Because you're up in that corner. I can't see the top of the screen. I'm sorry.
I'm good.
Okay.
Maybe a little question. I was just thinking about what we were discussing, and is the subtlety, am I thinking correctly? Is the subtlety about motivation? In other words, what you're saying is absolutely true. Spiritual things make us happy, right? Things to do with transcendental life make us happy. So is it a matter of the subtle, I'm doing it because it's making me happy, or is it
Right.
if it's a
That's-
byproduct, you're doing your service, you're not thinking about your own
Good.
happiness or well-being, but you're getting happy.
But
Anyway.
it happens simultaneously.
It happens
Because you're rightly situated in your perfect
right.
constitutional position of serving and loving Krishna. So
Yes.
naturally, there's going to be joy.
Yeah.
Your motivation is, I want to be happy, although
But you
it
do.
happens simultaneously. You become happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to work for the
I
happiness.
think also we're entering into a realm, just in our discussions, if the sadhana siddha muni charis required the association of nitya siddhas to mature, then there's something there that we probably don't have access to at this point in our sojourn.
This will happen to those who did go to Ras also. When they get to the Ras Lila, they're individually dancing with Krishna. So at that time, it'll say, Tasam Tat Sobhagyamadam. They became affected by Sobhagyamad, means like a kind of pride. Krishna's dancing with me.
Mm.
So then Krishna will disappear from the rasa dance with Radhika alone to give that same treatment to those who had attained the rasa. So everybody.
Well, you know that we could look at that as Bob also, as some kind of
we
Russ.
will cover that, and I think we need to go on now. Good
Okay, let's
point,
go on.
Mukunda, and it will be covered as we progress.
Okay, so now the next two little paragraphs, Sachi, would you like to read? I mean, I think you said yes. You have to unmute, sweetie, if you want to read. Sachi? Okay, maybe she doesn't.
Because Pariksit Maharaj, is that where I
Yes, sweetie, thank you.
No, that's not. It's
No?
actually even thinking of the demigods.
Oh, yeah, the one above it, the one above it. Yeah, well, that wasn't on the screen. Good.
Actually, even thinking of the demigods cannot compare with thinking of Krishna. It is also warned in the Vaishnava Tantra that one who puts Vishnu, Narayan, or Krishna on the same level of the demigods is called a pasanda or rascal. On hearing this question of Maharaj Pariksit, Sukadeva Goswami replied, "My dear king, your question is already answered even before this incident." Because Pariksit Maharaj wanted to clear up the situation, his spiritual master answered him very intelligently. "Why are you again asking the same subject matter which has already been explained to you? Why are you so forgetful?" A spiritual master is always in the superior position, so he has the right to chastise his disciple in this way. Sukadeva Goswami knew that Pariksit Maharaj asked the question not for his own understanding, but as a warning to the future innocent people who might think others to be equal to Krishna. Should I go on?
Where are you?
She finished up her paragraphs.
Okay, no, we'll have someone else read from here. But do you want to say something about that, especially how the spiritual master might chastise someone? And
Well, I want to say that
wait, I can't hear you, darling.
you can't hear me now.
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
I observed Srila Prabhupada chastising different individuals, especially the impersonalists in his garden. But Prabhupada, knowing my nature, never chastised me. He always just was very fatherly and merciful. That's all.
Okay. Wow, that's because the spiritual master knows everything. I was just given the clue that we have to go on, and rather than speak after every paragraph, but I thought it would be really sweet to hear from you, Sachi, because I knew you have some nectar. We're going to read a couple of paragraphs before we speak again. So beginning from Sukadeva Goswami, Pati, is that where we are? You have to unmute.
Yes.
Jagarini, would you like to continue?
Okay. Sukadeva Goswami then reminded Pariksit Maharaj about the salvation of Shishupal. Shishupal was always envious of Krishna, and because of his envy, Krishna killed him. Since Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shishupal gained salvation simply by seeing him. If an envious person can get salvation simply by concentrating his mind on Krishna, then what to speak of the gopis who are so dear to Krishna and always thinking of him in love? There must be some difference between the enemies and the friends. If Krishna's enemies could get freed from material contamination and become one with the Supreme, then certainly his dear friends like the gopis are freed and with him.
Very good. Mukunda, you want to go on? Thank you, Jagarini.
Besides that, that's where we are?
Yes.
Besides that, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is called Rishikesh. Shukdev Goswami also said that Krishna is Rishikesh, the super soul, whereas an ordinary man is a conditioned soul covered by the material body. Krishna and Krishna's body are the same because he is Rishikesh. Any person making a distinction between Krishna and Krishna's body is fool number one. Krishna is Rishikesh and Adhoksaja. These two particular words have been used by Parikshit Maharaj in this instance. Rishikesh is the super soul and Adhoksaja is the supreme personality of Godhead, transcendental to the material nature. Just to show favor to the ordinary living entities out of his causeless mercy, he appears as he is. Unfortunately, foolish persons mistake him to be another ordinary person, and so they become eligible to go to hell. Shukdev Goswami, I may need to move it up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. All right. Shukdev Goswami reconfirmed that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, imperishable, immeasurable, and free from all material contamination.
Thank you. Mandantara, did you read? No, you didn't read, did you?
Sukadeva Goswami continued to inform Maharaj Parikshit that Krishna is not an ordinary person. He is the supreme personality of Godhead, full of all spiritual qualities. He appears in this material world out of his causeless mercy, and whenever he appears as he is without change. This is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. There, the Lord says that he appears in his spiritual potency. He does not appear under the control of this material potency. The material potency is under his control. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the material potency is working under his superintendence. It is also confirmed in the Brahma Samhita that the material potency, known as Durga, is acting just as the shadow, which moves with the movement of the substance. The conclusion is that if one somehow or other becomes attached to Krishna or attached to him, either because of his beauty, quality, opulence, fame, strength, renunciation, or knowledge, or even through lust, anger, or fear, or affection, or friendship, then one's salvation and freedom from material contamination is assured.
Okay, we're going on now.
Actually, I got a question.
Okay.
Here it says that if one thinks of him through lust, anger, or fear, affection, or friendship, which pretty big net, whereas up here it said, unfortunately, foolish persons mistake him to be another ordinary person, and so they become eligible to go to hell. Well, they're just thinking of him different than somebody else, but why are they eligible to go to hell? If somebody's anger and offensive to him, this person's just thinking as a normal human being. Why is that person going to hell, whereas the other person is benedicted?
You're right. That's very interesting that you pointed that out, because I was thinking that it just shows Krishna's non-partiality. But the first one is similar to kind of like, I would think, unfavorably, and the other one, and the second one is showing whatever feelings or sentiments you have. If it is Krishna, attached to Krishna, because Krishna is non-partial, then you do get some benefit.
No, he was saying even in anger or hate.
Yes.
So that's not favorable.
Okay.
That is correct. But again, because the Krishna component is missing in the first one, then
why? They're thinking of Krishna as an ordinary human being, but they're thinking of Krishna.
Yeah, I guess because they don't have any faith. Like there is Krishna, like Krishna exists, okay, and Krishna is God. But if you don't appreciate that there is a God, then that curtain covers you from reciprocating. It's just like the sun is there. The sun is always there. But if you're inside your house and there's no windows and you're in a cave or something, you're not going to get any benefit from thinking that there's no sun. What the heck is this? You know what I'm saying? But so you have to go outside to receive the mercy.
But let's use the example of Shishupal. Shishupal didn't know, as you're saying, quote unquote, know that Krishna was God. He thought he was his cousin, and he was a cowherd boy. And when he was blaspheming him in the Rajasuya Sabha, he was saying that this person, we don't even know what his caste, we don't even know who his father is. Is it Vasudeva or is it Nanda? We don't know if he's a cowherd boy or Kshatriya. So he was not in any way, shape, or form favorable even to Krishna. Yet, because he was so absorbed in Krishna as a person, constantly thinking of him, of course, he was Jai and Vijay, and it's a Leela. But the point being brought out in this verse here is that the conclusion is if someone or other becomes attached to Krishna or attached to him either because of beauty, quality, opulence, fame, strength, renunciation, or knowledge, or even through lust, anger, and fear, or affection and friendship, then one's salvation and freedom.
Oh,
Anybody
now
else?
put it down on the one that we're comparing it to.
Okay. Oh, it was up.
Shishupal did recognize Krishna when the Sudarshan chakra was coming towards him. And Putana, she also recognized this person could destroy the whole universe right before she left her body too.
Another person. Well, yeah, there's two different kinds of people here. I think Akarnath is very anxious to say something. Thank you, Madanji.
The difference is, I think Dhruva Maharaj, and I think also before him touched on it, the difference is the quality. Young Krota Kama Sahaja Pranayati Piti, they're talking about meditating on Krishna in this way, that Shishupal was obsessed with Krishna. Kamsa was obsessed with Krishna, even though they didn't think of him as
Right.
the object of love. Whereas people who think Krishna is an ordinary person don't become obsessed with Krishna.
Okay.
They're concerned with material
Good.
things.
Good. No absorption. Good. They just cast them up. Very good. I accept. I think it's a good one.
This is going to come up like 2 verses later. If we like a couple of verses later, this is going to come up.
Okay. Okay. Shall we go on now? Yes. Okay. David Prasta, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna, sure.
Hare Krishna.
In the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, the Lord also states that one who is engaged in preaching Krishna consciousness is very dear to him. A preacher has to face many difficulties in his struggle to preach pure Krishna consciousness. Sometimes he has to suffer bodily injuries, and sometimes he has to meet death also. All this is taken as a great austerity on behalf of Krishna. Krishna, therefore, has said that such a preacher is very, very dear to him. If Krishna's enemies can expect salvation simply by concentrating their minds upon him, then what to speak of persons who are so dear to Krishna? The conclusion should be that the salvation of those who are engaged in preaching Krishna consciousness in the world is guaranteed in all circumstances. But such preachers never care for salvation, because factually, one who is engaged in Krishna consciousness, devotional service, has already achieved salvation. Shukadeva Goswami therefore assured King Parikshit that he should always rest assured that one attracted by Krishna attains liberation from material bondage, because Krishna is the transcendental master of all mystic power.
Do you want to conclude this, Patti? Shall we have another discussion or go on to the Krishna book?
See if anybody has any points.
Does anyone have anything to say about what we've read so far?
Okay. 2 things jump out at me from this
good.
if I can just offer 2 things that really struck me from this paragraph. One is this confidence that we should have, that actually our life is meant to serve Krishna and give Krishna consciousness to others. Our own future has already been sort of determined, apparently, as I understand this. And then how light Prabhupada makes of the dedication that there's so many inconveniences in preaching. One may be attacked, one may even suffer death. And he just, the way he says it's a little stunning, because that's not a small thing. That's not a small inconvenience. And he treats it as kind of a minor thing that, if there's some difficulty. And of course, we've had devotees who have experienced that, but it's just the level that Prabhupada's on in terms of the dedication of our life and the future guaranteed destination is
how about talking a little bit, Deva Prasta, about the logic that if someone's thinking of Krishna in anger, they get the result of liberation, then what to speak of someone who's dedicated their lives, may even be killed in the service of the Lord? What is their destination? Are they both the same? Because it's just liberated from material energy?
No, they can't be the same. I mean, it doesn't seem like they could be the same. If one in anger gets liberation and returns to some spiritual realm, Krishna seems to be indicating that what to speak of those who dedicated their lives, their destination is going to be much closer to Krishna as he is, as opposed to Krishna's, Brahmajyoti or some other Vaikuntha world, some other spiritual realm. It seems to be indicating that they're dear to Krishna. Krishna's going to take them to a place that's dear to him. Their goal is much different than those who think of him in anger.
Good. Does anyone know who else asked that particular question? Does everybody go to the same place? Who asked that question? Anyone know?
Certainly, many devotees on this forum have read that book and read that
The
question.
best book ever. Of course, there's a lot of best book evers, but Brihad Bhagavatamrita, who asked that question? Very beginning of the book, in the Brihad. Okay, Pati.
Uttara, Maharaj Parikshit's question. Maharaj Parikshit's mother, when she came up to ask him after Sukadeva Goswami had completed the Srimad Bhagavatam, Uttara came from the back because she was a woman; she wouldn't be up front, and she told her son that you've heard such nectar. You please tell me the essence of what he spoke. And she said, and then as he was speaking on, he gave an introduction. Then she said, my heart is not satisfied to think that these people who are so dear to Krishna, his mother, his father, his dear beloveds, and then the others, the Pandavas, the Vrishnis, the Yadus, and then there's others that are yogis and mystics. Do all of them go to the same place in the spiritual world? And the whole Brihad Bhagavatamrita was more or less designed to answer that question, that no, it's not the same at all.
Wonderful. Anyone else before we go on? There's a hand, Ranga. Hand is floating up on the screen and it says Ranga. Okay, Rangaji, where are you? It's very confusing. Ranga, you have to unmute. Oh dear, she didn't unmute. I can't see you or hear you, darling.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It said in the text that whoever is preaching pure Krishna consciousness. What does that mean?
Well, if we just say what Prabhupada told us, if we're giving out books and if we're preaching directly from the books, that's the beginning. Then we become convinced, and over the years, it becomes part of us, it becomes who we are, and we're able to deliver the message purely. But if we say what Prabhupada told us, that's what it was always in the beginning. You say what we've heard from your spiritual master, that's pure Krishna consciousness. That's why give him a book, because there's no mistake about that.
In conjunction with the part where it could be lust or anger or fear, does that get involved with preaching pure Krishna consciousness? I mean, would that be something?
Yeah, it depends upon your motivation. There are so many reasons and so many things and so many different little aspects why somebody would do something. To go out and be the biggest book distributor or the biggest preacher, or sincerely, humbly want to serve. And I remember I used to go out on book distribution and work hard and come back and do a lot of books and collect a lot of money. And then I would see these brahmacharis come back at the end of the day and write, after 12 hours, $65 and, 9 books. And I realized I don't have that kind of devotion. I need to see results. At that point,
I think if you look on the forums, Premananda did a nice compilation. There's a nice conversation between Maharaj Yudhisthira and Narada Muni about these different types of devotees, or not devotees, the different types and the destinations of different people and their approach. But the point being made is that thinking of Krishna is totally different than thinking of anyone else.
Kurnath,
yeah.
I just, when they came out with the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, where Rupa Goswami is making this point about how Krishna himself is the avatari and he's especially wonderful. And he makes the point that even when, Lord Nrsingadev killed Hiranyakashipu or Braha killed Hiranyaksha, they still took birth again. And it wasn't until they were purified, and so they got, so Hiranyaksha got to be and Ravana, they got the benefit of being killed by Vishnu, but that it was Krishna specifically who, when Shishupal saw the beauty of Krishna's eyes, right, like Madan was saying, right before he was killed. So there's something special about Lord Krishna himself killing someone that's even more wonderful, and giving liberation to his enemies than his other avatars.
Okay, that's the signal we have to go on, but I got to say this one thing. It's not that Shishupal and Natavakra and they didn't have to get purified. They had to be the worst demon that they could possibly be. That was their seva to Krishna.
Right, they were Jaya and Vijaya. Yeah,
Jaya and Vijaya.
But the point, Rupa Goswami, he's still making that point that it shows that Krishna's special sweetness is more important than Braha or Lord Nrsingadev.
Yes.
Or Rama even.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, that's such.
I guess it was Lord Nrsingadev, Rama, and Krishna. He wasn't talking about Braha because Hiranyakashipu. Anyway, Hiranyaksha was different.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you, Akarnathji. Pushkar, are you there? Let's see. Pushkar would like to read. Pushkarji. Hello? Okay, he'll come later, I guess. Okay. Sukada, my darling Sukada, I can't figure out if you want to read or not, and it's fine if you don't want to read.
Not today, please.
Okay, sweetie, I'm sorry. Chatumai, would you like to read?
I'm painting, I'm listening.
Okay, sweetie, thank you, Pushkar.
Haribol, Dandava Pranams to all the simple devotees. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:29-12, Sarartha Darshini. Sri Parikshit Maharaj said, O sage, the gopis knew Krishna only as their lover, not as the supreme absolute truth. So how could these girls, their minds caught up in the waves of the modes of nature, free themselves from material attachment? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur states, though Parikshit Maharaj understood the meaning of Sukadev Goswami's words, he noticed the expressions on the faces of some of the more materialistic persons present there, and realized the doubt lurking in their hearts. To remove their doubts, he asked this question: O sage, O knower of everything, although Krishna is the Supreme Personality, Parama, the gopis knew Krishna only as their lover, Kantam. How did the gopis become free from the modes of nature by thinking, let us enjoy with Krishna? Shukdev Goswami answered, the Shastras explain that only knowledge of this super soul can award liberation. Tam eva vidit vati mrityam eti. Nanya panta vidyate yanaya. One can attain the perfect stage of liberation from birth and death simply by knowing the Supreme Lord. And there is no other way to achieve this perfection. From the Svetasvatar Upanishad 3.8. Also, the individual soul can only realize the Supreme Soul when he recognizes his transcendental position. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-24.
So do you have something to say about that last sentence? That kind of gives it. Great.
We need to remove the clouds of the modes of nature and come to the state where we are fixed up in sambandha. Only those with sambandha gyan can actually be liberated.
Yeah, we could understand the transcendental position of Krishna. We can't get liberation, and we can't achieve any internal relationship with Krishna unless we understand his nature as being completely transcendental to the modes of nature.
And isn't that the position of the impersonalists who just want to achieve liberation, but they don't want to acknowledge their sambandha?
Well, they will get liberation, and then they'll come back again. You know, that's a whole thing. Anyway.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Madan.
When in the Sri
Thakur.
Upanishad, when in I think it's text 8, prophylactic and antiseptic, that Krishna, just by thinking of Krishna, can we connect those two? It is just by thinking of Krishna, he's prophylactic and antiseptic.
Certainly.
Why not? Good. Good. So many references in the scriptures to describe Krishna's real nature. Jagavini, do you have your hand up? Oh, I'm sorry.
Sama, just to let you know, Sulakshana's here. She hasn't been in a long time, down at the bottom of the list.
Oh,
Because
would
it's
you like to
alphabetical,
read?
So if she's
Sulakshana? Sulakshana.
She's one of our oldest
Yes.
students
Yes, I
or
would like to read.
participants.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear your voice.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, please read.
Text 13, Sarartha Darshini. Shukadeva Goswami said, this point was explained to you previously, since even Shishupal, who hated Krishna, achieved perfection, then what to speak of the Lord's dear devotees? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, though the king of sages knew this was not Parikshit's questions, he made a pretense of scolding him in order to chastise others for their foolishness. Shukadeva Goswami said, you must have no intelligence at all to be asking such a question. Previously, in the 7th canto, I told you that Shishupal attained liberation, though he hated the Lord if he could attain Sayuja Mukti. With that unfavorable attitude, what can we say of the gopis' favorable attitude characterized by conjugal desire? Should I continue?
Okay, read the next paragraph.
The word Rishikesham indicates that Krishna personally descends to this world by his unconditional causeless mercy. Even though Krishna is inaccessible to the senses of such persons as Brahma, nevertheless he makes himself visible by his inconceivable divine potency and allows himself to be seen by the senses of even the lowest of men. Krishna does this to deliver them and thus exhibit the power of his compassion. These gopis, on the other hand, are the objects and subjects of affection for Adhokshaja Krishna, the transcendental Lord who lies beyond the purview of ordinary senses.
Okay, Pachi, should we just go on now?
Let her explain that
Okay.
last part. This is really something. I didn't get that until she read it. What does this last part mean, Sulakshana? Even though Krishna is inaccessible to persons as Brahma, nonetheless he makes himself visible, but he does this to deliver them and exhibit his power of compassion. These gopis, on the other hand, in other words, there's something unique about them, are the objects and subjects of affection for Adhokshaja Krishna.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I think what it's saying is that he loves them, and that's why he's with them.
But then let's go back to Yate.
Yeah, Yatama Papadyante.
Yeah, so that he's referring. What do you think about that, Sulakshana? That
Yes,
Krishna, how does Krishna
reciprocates according as one surrenders unto me, I will deliver them accordingly. Yeah.
Right. So this is another example of that. Yes?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Aye.
Okay. I wanted Murari to read, if that would be okay. Thakur Murari, are you with us still? Thank you, Sulakshana. It was really nice to see that you're participating in this.
Thank you.
Thakur.
Everybody, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I missed you on Tuesday. I went out and I came back late.
You have to speak slowly, loudly. and
Maybe
clearly.
put your mouth a little closer to your microphone.
Is that okay now?
No?
Okay, you mentioned.
Maybe turn off the pictures. Sometimes the audio is better.
How is that? Is that okay? Is it different now?
All right, read.
Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, so why did Shukadev reject the recent example?
Yes.
Okay. So why did Shukadev reject the recent example of Agashura achieving the perfection in Vrindavan, and instead cite an example from Krishna's material Leela concerning the most degraded Chaitya? By citing Shishupal, Shukadev Goswami reveals a confidential truth to King Parikshit. If the gopis who were kept in their houses eventually attained spiritual bodies, similarly, Shishupal assumed his eternal spiritual body as an associate of the Lord, and removal of his Gunamaya, that's material body, attained by Sage's curse because of his extreme materialistic illusion. In reality, Shishupal's spiritual body, as a personal associate of the Lord, was always present hidden within. It is stated in the Bhagavatam, that 7.1.46 Krishna Chakra at Amhaso. By the chakra of Krishna, the sins of Dantavakra and Shishupal were removed. In other words, a chakra moved the sins rather than killing them, and then they attained the perfection of returning to their positions as attendants of Lord in Vaikuntha. This is also stated in reference to Jai and Vijay, who appeared as Shishupal and Dantavakra in Krishna's pastimes. These two associates of Vishnu, Jai and Vijay, maintain a feeling of enmity.
So text 14 then, huh?
Yes.
O King, the Supreme Lord is inexhaustible and immeasurable, and he is untouched by the material modes because he is their controller. His personal appearance in this world is meant for bestowing the highest benefit on humanity. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Sri Krishna descends to the material world to show mercy to the devotees and demons alike. Krishna appears here with this idea in his mind. I shall deliver all those persons who have even a little personal connection with me, even though they have not embarked on any path of spiritual advancement. This point is explained in verses 14 through 15. Krishna comes to bestow the highest benefit, which for some means merging into God's existence, Sayujya Mukti, or liberation to Vaikuntha, Salokya Mukti, or pure love of God, Prema Bhakti. Krishna does not have to personally appear to kill an insignificant demon like Kamsa, since by the mere movement of his eyebrows he can destroy millions of universes. Krishna is called Avyayasya, inexhaustible, because though he gives himself to each and every devotee, he is never depleted. But in what way is Krishna so, someone may ask? The answer is given beginning with the word aprameyasya, which means immeasurable. Krishna is immeasurable because he is untouched by material qualities, nirgunasya, and filled with unlimited transcendental qualities, guna atmanaha.
You have something to say about that?
I was thinking how in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says even that the jiva is aprameya. Some people are arguing, oh, well, now we can use microscopes and see things that are smaller than 10,000th the tips of a hair, and therefore, we should be able to see the jiva. But the jiva is not, it's described, it's that size, but that doesn't mean you can see it with material senses. Some people look on the soul as amazing. Some people describe him as amazing. Some people hear of him as amazing. But others, even after hearing of him, can't understand him at all. That is not, he's not something that we can actually enclose in the nutshell of our little logical minds.
Yeah, because he's spirit. Can't understand spirit through matter.
Sevan mukhe hi jiva dos vayameva spratita. We have to have purified senses to see spirit.
Good.
So
Anyone else?
Pushkar hasn't read yet.
Well, Pushkar, you want to read? He was painting. That's why.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He said he was painting.
Okay.
Okay. So then, should we go on, just at least finish this?
Mm-hmm.
Next, number 15. Okay. Okay, let's just start again. Ranga, would you like to read this? Jagrini, you read, right?
Yeah, I read a little. Mhm.
Okay, if you can read after Ranga. I think she's still on. I just saw her. Ranga Ji. All right.
Why not have Jagarini then?
Okay, Jagarini, you read.
Okay, text 15. Persons who constantly direct their lust, anger, fear, protective affection, feeling of impersonal oneness, or friendship toward Lord Hari are sure to become absorbed in thought of him. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, in this verse, Sukadev Goswami says, therefore, Parikshit, you should understand the conclusion clearly. The Braja Gopis and others worshipped Krishna with a mood of lust, kama. Shishupal worshipped Krishna with a mood of anger, krodha. Kamsa, a mood of fear, bhayam. Nanda Maharaj, a mood of parental love, sneha. The self-satisfied sages, a mood of oneness, aikya. The Vrishnis, Pandavas, and others, a mood of friendship, saurgam. In which mood they worship Sri Krishna, they realize the respective eternal pastimes of the Lord. Can you pull it up the screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This tells us that the various pastimes of all these persons are eternal. Even today, anyone who maintains any of these individual moods toward Krishna will achieve him. Just as one attached to women is called Sri Maya, the gopis are called Tanmaya, which means totally absorbed in Krishna. For the others, Tanmayatam means Sayuja, merging into the Brahma Jyoti.
Okay,
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
What's the basic principle, though, Jagavini?
Can you put it back up? The basic principle is that absorption in Krishna will ultimately lead you to him.
Exactly.
And when they describe these different moods by these different personalities, we can understand these are special circumstances. So these devotees that realized had a relationship in anger and a relationship in fear and a relationship in parental love, in friendship, all those things, they have already achieved knowledge of the Vedas, sadhana, bhakti. They've already achieved and accomplished all that, and they are now in the pastimes of Krishna. It's not like if we, hate Krishna because, like maybe one of the parents, like the one who started with the having deprogrammers take their kids because they hated the movement and they hated Krishna. It's not like that person is gonna, have this relationship with Krishna. It's these relationships are there. They're there in the spiritual world, but these personalities are already pure devotees, but they're bhaktas. They're already had relationships with Krishna in the past. However, understanding anything about Krishna, his name, anything, ultimately brings you to him.
Yes, Prabhupada, when there was a negative article written, Prabhupada said, how many times do they say the word Krishna?
Right.
Even the parents of the team programmers, they're hating Krishna now.
Krishna.
They're not finished with Krishna yet.
Right.
That's just the beginning,
Yeah.
So eventually there will be more and more.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, I think this is the last one.
I was just going to say one quick thing.
Madanji, I'm so sorry, Prabhu. Please go on.
I did put my hand up. But anyway, I was thinking
didn't see
of
it.
when Krishna went into the wrestling arena at Mathura to kill Kamsa. It mentioned, I think, 10 different ways that people were seeing that, and that Of
Right,
course,
that's right.
just like Jagarini, her compliment, they're already in pastime. So,
Yeah.
but the ordinary people saw him as an ordinary person.
Good. Yeah, it was
Thank you. Sorry.
good. Thank you. No, no, that's good. Would you like to read this, Madan? I'm so sorry I neglected you. Just read the first, read the verse. Do you have it up? I don't know if he knows. Madan?
I had to unmute again.
Okay.
One should not be
You
so.
should not.
You should not be so astonished by Krishna, the unborn master of all masters of mystic power, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After all, it is the Lord who liberates this world. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sukadeva Goswami said, though others may be amazed, it should not be astonishing to you who have been well aware of Krishna's glories from within your mother's womb. Though Krishna appears as a cowherd boy, he is Bhagavan. Though Krishna is the son of Devaki, he is unborn. Though Krishna first flirts with the damsels of Braj, I gotta make the screen a little bigger. He is the ultimate master of mystic yoga, Yoga Ishwara, and the original source of all incarnations. It is not astonishing that Krishna liberates all moving and non-moving creatures in the universe, in the entire universe, as explained by Sridhar Swami's commentary. And that,
go on.
I didn't know what language it was. Okay. Can also mean that although the universe is distinct from the transcendental paraphernalia of Krishna's pastimes, still by remembering the moods of Kama and Sneha and Krishna's various devotees, even today, anyone in the universe can become free from the flux of the modes of nature.
Wow. Well, that's pretty good.
Just in case anybody forgot Krishna, who Krishna was, it was a little refresher.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Karnath?
Although it says that the gopis approach Krishna in lust, we should distinguish between this prema imbued lust of the gopis and,
right,
like, for example, how Kubja or Shurpanaka, who is actually the Bhu Shakti, she approached in a different kind of lust, but eventually even she became, as Kubja, Krishna satisfied her, and then even more so as Lord Chaitanya, she became Vishnupriya, this great devotee. But she's the energy of material substances, Bhu.
I thought you were going to say we should not confuse our own lust in relation to Krishna. You know, it's not like lust in the material world.
I was also following on Narada Muni's point that you know, people, even demons, you know, what to speak of people who just feel lusty towards Krishna, but even demons can concentrate on Krishna even more intensely, according to Narada Muni, than devotees. Going back to that question about what are people who just think of Krishna as an ordinary person, it's not the same as this intense concentration, and that some people can find, you know, they see a picture of Krishna and they think, oh, he's very attractive, and they're starting, like you were mentioning about the deprogrammers who are also thinking, you know, my son, they love their son, and then they're thinking, my son went to the Hare Krishnas, and they're thinking about Hare Krishna and getting purified.
Good. Anyone else have something to share about this passage?
Didn't the parents of the devotees, is it what, 14 generations get liberated also?
Which devotees?
It says, what is it?
Which devotees? Our parents?
Yeah, that's what it said. As far as I
What is
remember, is that
Which is the it? What is it? Who said that? It. Who's the it you're talking about?
I can look it up again, but I know that Prabhupada had mentioned it a couple times that there's so many generations forward and back that get liberated when you become a devotee.
It's in the pastimes with Lord Nrsingadev that, he wanted to give Prahlad Maharaj a boon, and Prahlad Maharaj was saying, "I'm not a merchant that I'm looking for something in exchange for my love." And then, but he insisted, so he said, "Well, I'm not concerned for myself because I'm always remembering your lotus feet, but I'm concerned for the fools like my father, that he was approached you in this angry mood." And then Lord Nrsingadev said, generation, because of your pure devotion, generations of your family, both before and after, are already, and I don't remember how many generations, maybe 7 back and 7 ahead or something like that. They've already become liberated.
21 for pure devotees, 14 for any devotees practicing, I think in the 7 or something. So was that breakdown?
Okay, I remember when Vishnu John was confused about his position, and he was going to he wanted to take his life, and then Prabhupada said, I am not Lord Chaitanya, and you are not Haridas Thakur, or he is not Haridas Thakur. Even Prabhupada said that. We should understand that we are not Prahlad Maharaj, and we are mercy cases. So just by hearing Krishna's name, one gets benefit, even if it comes from someone like us. So we have to keep everything on a little bit perspective, just because we're mercy cases. Do you know what I'm saying? First, Ranga, and then Jagarini.
So are you saying that doesn't apply to all the devotees?
I'm just saying we have to know that we're not Prahlad Maharaj, and we hope that our parents are definitely going to get benefits. Certainly, we put them through hell. We really did. And they are going to get benefited, and they're already benefited. They probably, a lot of them heard the holy name when they were exiting. My father did, and my mother did too. I mean, but I definitely, it's all the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We can't put ourselves on that level to think that, it's all a matter of how you surrender, and it's all a matter of
Looks
your
like Manvantara has her hands up.
Manvantara, Jagarini, then Manvantara.
So I was just thinking a couple of things through this discussion. A point that Mukunda Prabhu made about the gopis needing to take the lessons from more senior gopis, right? That was a process for them, right? To be instructed by the more senior gopis. And I was thinking about us here. To me, it seems, when hearing all these pastimes, the same rules apply to us here. So we're supposed to seek out higher association, better association for our development in Krishna consciousness, similar to the gopis. And another point is in talking about not recognizing Krishna, right? Well, even when he was on the planet, people didn't recognize him. Speaking of Srila Prabhupada, how many people didn't think of him as anything, just an ordinary old man, right? That there were not many of us who recognized something special about him, even though we didn't know quite what it was at the time. Fortunate for us. But I think that's these principles that we're hearing, to me, are so enlivening because they're constant, they're consistent.
Right, they're constant.
It's the same thing that's going on. And if we stick with it,
yeah,
Even
Hiranyakashipu said to Hiranyaksha, or maybe he said to Prahlad, association is crystallizing. Association is crystallizing. So we want to seek out advanced devotees and pure devotees, and hear from the acharyas. We want that kind of association to bring us up. That's essential. We have to learn how to do that. Manvatar, thank you, Jagleen.
Got
Manvatar,
to.
Just,
wait a second, Madan. Manvatar and then Madan.
I'm sorry. Just to get back to Predicate Maharaj's question, and just so I can understand the point with the absorption of the gopis. Back in chapter 14, Lord Brahma's prayer to Krishna, one of the questions Lord Brahma asked Lord Krishna was, how will he reward the residents of Vrindavan, and the gopis specifically, especially since he already gave so much to Putana? And is that the kind of response, or is this the response that what we're reading now, that Krishna perhaps was sharing with Lord Brahma? You know, the type of absorption, the reward that Lord Brahma was inquiring about.
I don't.
Is that clear or no?
I think that the expression of Lord Brahma at that particular time was that he was so appreciative of the Brijbasis' love for Krishna that he was, it's almost like hyperbole, overstatement. How is it possible that you'll ever be able to repay these people? Even Krishna later in this Leela will express the same thing. I can't reciprocate equally. I can't pay you back as much as you should be responded with. So I think in that case, Manvantara, that's what that was, as I remember it. It was more of an expression of, I don't see how it's possible that you'll ever be able to repay them since you already gave yourself to Putana, that kind of sentiment. I think we're at the end, Sama.
Okay.
Just one thing, Dhruva, Prabhu,
Yeah, go ahead.
there is the verse, I'm not sure, I couldn't quite follow fully Manvantara's question, but there is one verse, Napariham Nirvaja Samyujam.
Yeah, no, that's in this Leela, Prabhu. She was talking about when Brahma stole the cows and cowherd boys. One of the things that he was appreciating was that their love between friends, the cowherd boys and Krishna and Nanda Maharaj, and he was just so overwhelmed. He said, how are you ever going to be able to pay these people back for the love they're showing you?
Yeah. In the case of gopis, he's saying the last line,
yeah,
tat sadhuna, your love itself will be the payment.
Right.
Therefore, when he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to repay that love the gopis have, he distributes service to that love. That's why Mahaprabhu comes.
Right, that's a nice way to put it. That's beautiful. He distributes service by
we're distributing books.
Distributing
to try to repay Srila Prabhupada. We're distributing books.
Jai, oh my God. Wait, Madan wanted to say something. Madan, are you there?
I was just going to say that there's a verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that it says, Dhatu is the only word I remember from it. The root cause of advancement is in spiritual life is associating with advanced devotees. Just a comment on it, but I didn't know how to spell enough words to look it up. Thank you.
So let me wind it up with the same thing that we opened up with, that the theme in this particular part of the Leela is that Krishna is unique. This is not an ordinary series of events like in the material world. So many evidences are there. And now we'll start to head into the reciprocation between the gopis and Krishna. But this was a prelude. And then at the end, there's another one. It's almost like a sandwich, expressing the importance of understanding this unique position of Krishna. So, to be continued. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.